Hi everybody, Randy Wakeman here. A few years ago, George Trulock came out with dove chokes. And this year, in fact right now, Trulock has introduced their dove choke twin pack in 20 gauge. What I'm using is the old style Benelli M2 Comfort Tech. And what I have installed is the mid-range Trulock dove choke. There's a mid-range and a long range. So you might be wondering why a dove choke. A couple reasons. Dove hunting is extremely popular. There are a lot of people out there that don't do any hunting at all except for doves. Opening weekend or the first couple weeks, they have a great time in the dove field with friends and family, but other than that they just don't do much hunting. So the idea is to take some of the guesswork out of a dove choke. Even though you may be using your shotguns strictly for clays or non-hunting purposes, why a dove choke? Well, first of all, the Trulock chokes are extended, so banging around your gun, you're going to protect the crown of the barrel, the muzzle, because what gets hit is going to be the 17-4 stainless steel, which is blued on the Trulock. And this is what Trulock, patterning a bunch of different loads, has come up with as an excellent compromise for mid-range, long-range doves. So I'm going to shoot us some paper at 20 yards. It's kind of breezy today, to try to give you the idea between the two different styles of chokes. Trulock dove chokes are okay with steel, tungsten, lead, you name it. So you don't have to worry about the type of ammo that you're forced to use or that you choose to use. What I'm going to use for this little miniature comparison are Remington Nitro sporting clays. 20 gauge, obviously 7/8 of an ounce, 1300 feet per second, number 7.5. So this would be for just general dove hunting purposes with a 20 gauge, good load. High antimony shot, brass caps, excellent little shell. So what we'll do is zoom in so you can see the pellets hit. I'm shooting this 60 frames per second, so I should be able to slow this down and give you a really good comparison between the two chokes. So first up is the Trulock mid-range. We'll take a shot, I'll change the target, and we'll repeat with the long range. See if there's any noticeable difference. So this is at 20 yards. The mid-range dove choke, as a generalization, of course you'll have to do your own patterning with your own gun and your own shells if you really want to dial it in. But what Trulock calls mid-range dove is 30 yards and in. So this is the type of choke that you'd want to use for waterhole dove or jump shooting doves if you have a stand of sunflowers, etc., etc. So let's change paper and change chokes and do a quick comparison. Another obvious advantage of extended chokes is that without sticking your face in front of the muzzle, at a quick glance you can tell what choke you've got in the gun. So it's pretty generous etching there on the outside of this choke. This is long range. So you can see that from quite a ways away. So we'll repeat with the long range choke and compare the two patterns. Obviously, this is no definitive scientific test. If you want a good idea of pattern percentage averages, it takes a minimum of 10 shots. maybe more. So it takes a 10-shot average, and of course one pattern doesn't mean anything precisely as far as percentage. But it's good enough to show the difference. So it should be readily apparent, it sure is to me, that here's our mid-range choke at 20 yards. So you should be good to I would say out to 30 yards fairly easily. And the difference, the long-range choke, far denser. So this area, you've got a nice tight pattern. You've got pellets going through the same hole, so at 20 yards it hasn't even had a chance to open up yet. So this is what you'd want for really anything past 30 yards, 35, 40 yards, perhaps out to 45 with 1 ounce loads. These are just 7/8 of an ounce. But it's pretty clear that you've got excellent pattern density as opposed to the mid-range. So the chokes make a difference. And as we all know, the kill zone on a dove is not very big. They're mostly feathers. So, depends on how you hunt. Normally, I'm just standing out in the field looking like an idiot. We don't do a lot of elaborate preparations for dove hunting here, and just take whatever flies by. And there are a lot of doves in the area right now. So, what I would do is screw in the long-range choke and just let it be. But the choice is yours. And of course, some people do jump shoot doves, and they've got little water holes where the doves are going to come in for a quick drink in the afternoon, and it can be extremely close shooting. So the mid-range choke is your choice in that situation. Other than that, the long range for everything else. So even if you don't do a lot of dove hunting, the 2-pack from Trulock, you're pretty much set. And if you're not satisfied, you get your money back from Trulock. That's the way George always did it, and that's the way Scott and Jerry Trulock do it today. So nothing's changed there. So I hope that gives you a very rough idea what the 20 gauge Trulock dove chokes produce on paper.